if there was ever a reason to just hit record and do it and not worry about making mistakes, this is a prime example. A little bit of miscommunication between me and my team. Was supposed to go live at 5:30. Then when I went in there to go live, wasn't until 6, and just things started to unravel from there. So we are live. Who knows who's going to be able to join us? And but most likely you're going to be watching this on rerun. So I appreciate you jumping on here a little bit off cue. We are going live on Thursdays at 5:30 moving forward. And we are going to talk to you about things that have happened in Fort Collins, things that are happening, city council, developments under review. But this is your one-stop shop to try to get all information about Fort Collins and Northern Colorado. Starting with, dare I say it, I have been a CSU Ram fan my entire life, graduated from CSU with a degree in accounting. But dang, Deion Sanders is just polarizing, and I am being drawn in and find myself cheering for CU, which is crazy. But this weekend they are playing the Nebraska Huskers. Lots of family, friends that are Husker fans, my next door neighbor. But it is going to be a wild ride, to say the least. I'll be very excited to watch CU throughout the year, and they've gotten just an exciting schedule. So we will be watching that. But not only are they beaten, CU is doing well. Come on, CSU. I am a proud Rammy. Let's pick it up. But there were license plates. There was an article about license plates. If you've seen a lot of black license plates, it's because there was these special plates released, 65,000 of the 4 million license plates that are out there. So a very small percentage, but still seems like a lot. There were special annual year releases, blue, black, red. But it was interesting. They had 65,000 released. They also estimated there's about 12,000 CU license plates and only about 5,000 CSU. But they've raised over $26 million. You had an opportunity to pay $29 for a state park fee when you renewed your license plates. And they've raised $26 million, and they're hoping to raise up to 32.5 or above. So pretty special. That goes to such an amazing place in Colorado, our open parks and trails. Sorry, something's in my eye. But license plates, lots of different license plates, breast cancer awareness, wildlife. There's going to be like a wolf license plate that kind of help, since we've released wolves into the wild, to accommodate relocating those or helping make whole farmers and ranchers who lose cattle and livestock to wolves. I didn't notice any haze, but apparently there was, I guess, some Canadian wildfires that are happening down here. So make sure that if you're out and about, I remember riding my bike doing the dams probably in 2013. Pretty dumb of me when I was young, but definitely not the best to let's see here, not the best to be biking in that type of environment. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself with that. A bookstore opened up in Old Town, kind of an interesting place in the Avery building across from Tula. Hope them the best. It is definitely something that we can support here, small, local, Fort Collins, but they just opened up. And then things that you can do this weekend. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I don't think we have childcare, unfortunately, but it is the Fort Collins Historic Homes Tour. Over 100 volunteers are participating. You can view 5 houses and 2 commercial buildings, which is pretty special. Fort Collins. While, we were talking with some clients that were from Connecticut, and we don't have those East Coast aged houses. Ours aren't going to be in the 1700s. Our earliest houses are going to be the late 1880s and beyond. So they are historic to us. And if you are looking at going on there, you can buy tickets on the day of for $30. But it's about 6 hours, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's jump into City Council. The City Council meeting was held on Tuesday evening. There was 3 pretty big items to discuss. The occupancy limits, U+2, whether they're going to put that on the ballot for Fort Collins to discuss, and there was other options as well. land use codes for oil and gas, reverse setbacks, and water adequacy, basically saying that what is the process for developers to get a will serve letter from a Fort Collins water supplier and metro districts. So pretty important stuff. It was about a 4-hour long meeting. But the U+2 rules, if you aren't familiar with it, essentially here's what currently is not allowed. 2 couples with no family relationship, so 2 separate adults with different last names or whatever, 2 siblings and 2 or more friends, a family, a caretaker, and an exchange student. Those are what are currently not existing. 2 U+2 unrelated people, U+2. City of Fort Collins, it's a pretty hot topic. People talk about it all the time, especially CSU students. There's an estimated 15,000 beds. According to Mayor Jenny Arndt, there's an estimated, from what she's been told and heard, estimated 15,000 beds that are unoccupied in the city of Fort Collins. And we're talking about affordability for both buying and renting. You know, that's a discussion, but the concern, the pros are, hey, it opens up some ability to use your property to the 5 bedrooms that it has rather than just the 3 bedrooms. But then on the con side of things, it suggests that, hey, not only will they have the 5 people in those bedrooms, but they're going to have 6, 7, 8. They're going to shove them in the closets, all this good stuff. And so it's a pretty hot topic. And it was voted on 5-2, that it is going to be, it was resolved to be resolved next year. And essentially, City Council is agreeing to discuss the occupancy limits next year by June 30th, I believe it was. So all you CSU students out there, or folks that either agree or disagree with U+2, I would say it's good time to start talking to your city council members. Elections are happening this November 7th. See where they're at on that topic. See what's going on and where do you stand, and try to get a little bit more information on that. Definitely an interesting topic. I own property and rentals myself, and I've got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom bi-level in Midtown Fort Collins that I know that if I were to rent to 3 unrelated people, that is the max. And if I did more, I'd be breaking a law. And definitely there are some punishments, significant punishments, actually, if you really look into it, how much it would be charged on a daily basis. Now, they don't ever really get to that. They give you such a long leash to fix the issues because they don't want to displace people too quickly. But that being said, that is going to be discussed next year. This is interesting. I told one of my agents, Zach, to jump on because this is definitely important he's working with a client. We're looking at the northeast side of town. And, whether you are at Richards Lake or Saunders, there are these reverse setbacks that they are discussing. Currently, it's a 500-foot setback for an active well or a active capped but not reclaimed well. There's lots of different terminology that I don't necessarily know all of it, so I'm not going to dig into that detail. But at first reading, it was passed. I believe it was 6-1. I believe it was 6-1. Yes, that they on first reading that they are going to increase the setbacks and have different regulations for caps, non-capped, or capped and non-reclaimed, capped, non-producing, and active wells, which are generally in and owned by one operator, Prospect Energy. There are 10 active wells within the city, 20 abandoned wells, 5 are drilled and abandoned, 15 are plugged and abandoned. And on our growth management area, there's 16 active wells, 8 producing and 8 injecting. And it's pretty much in one of our biggest growth sectors of Fort Collins on the northeast side of town, which is Saunders, Montava, Saunders, I guess you just call it Saunders East right now. And we've got clients that are looking there. We also have had clients that have gone under contract, actually pulled out. They were looking at, I believe Hearthfire it was, or maybe it was Richards Lake. And they pulled out after they did some more research and found that, no, it's not just 500 feet. It's more like 2,000 feet for active wells. And I want to show you guys, this is the areas that it would actually impact. If I see here, there we go. So you can kind of, sorry, this is me watching the video, taking screenshots, but these blue, like teal ones are active wells. Sorry, if you're on Instagram, this is on YouTube Live, so join there. But these are our live active wells. And then, but this is the 2,000 foot. I mean, so this is all Richards Lake, Saunders, brand new development, $1 million homes. So this is a conversation that at the point of sale, you're going to have to sign basically a document saying we are signing and agreeing to be within a 2,000 foot radius of these active but non-producing or active wells or capped wells that are not reclaimed. So it's a pretty significant deal that I would be pretty pissed off about if I was Saunders, because it was 500 feet. So all of this development was well within their ability to develop. And then also it's going to potentially impact if the land use code gets updated, if you could build ADUs. So, definitely something to stay informed about. And they've passed it on the first reading, which it was pretty heavily, strongly, in favor of. So it sounds like it's probably going to pass on the second reading, which then that comes into place. 2,000 foot reverse setbacks. So essentially saying if you have a active well or mostly an active well is a 2,000 foot. Now, if you have a plugged well that's not reclaimed, then it's 500 feet. If you have a plugged well and it's reclaimed, then it's 150 feet. So there's definitely ins and outs. We can get more information as we go, but definitely something super important. And the last thing that was passed was the water adequacy. So essentially, you have to get a will serve letter from a water supplier if you are a developer. And it's one of the final tasks in the process of your preliminary development review. That can take 6 to 9 months and cost you thousands of dollars. And there's metro districts that are building their own water supplier, basically water suppliers. And there's just going to be rules in place that there has to be, a quality of water that's good or better than the municipal, the city utility. Potentially have to refund these these utilities because they were set. That's weird. Sorry, on Instagram. But anyways, it was. There's going to be multiple things that are going to have to happen, and they're going to have a will serve letter, all this kind of stuff. So again, 1041 regulations are going to, if they're a development big enough in scope, it's going to take time and money for development. Possibly these water adequacy regulations that are looking at being passed could add some more time. So the development review process is not getting any easier. That is for sure. Which is a little bit of frustrating, but I get where they're trying to go and try to protect the city and its citizens and things of that nature. But regardless, watching that as well. So those three things all passed on first reading, moving into second reading, which would then become, law. So developments under review. Let's see here. There's a yoga studio on 111 North Loomis that's looking to expand, a duplex at 1801 Shealy, and then a retail store at Willix Lane, a 10,000 square foot retail shop, which again, that North Old Town, North College is just continuing to get developed and money is flowing. It's very close off of 287, and we will continue to see that shape and develop over the over the coming years. We are at 13 minutes, 45 seconds. Actually, a pretty decent turnout for some very poor planning on my side of going live at 5:30, then 5:40. Actually, it was scheduled for 6. So for all you guys turning out, appreciate it. We will be live next Thursday at 5:30. The Rams are not playing this weekend. Looks like they needed a break anyways because they got thrashed by Washington State and just didn't show up. Sounded like they played pretty awful. But I will be watching the CU Buffs against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I don't know if I'll be cheering loudly, but I might be cheering for the Buffs. So appreciate you guys watching. Until next Thursday, have a great evening.